Ever heard a strange splash when no one's round a quiet lake? Or felt a sudden, inexplicable chill by a riverbank at dusk? In Slavic folklore, these might not be tricks of the wind or water. They could be signs that you're not alone. You might be in the presence of the Vodyanoi, the enigmatic and often malevolent water spirit. So, what is the Vodyanoi? Imagine a creature born from the murky depths of rivers, lakes, and ponds. His name literally translates to the watery one. Descriptions vary across different regions, but a common image paints him as an old man, bloated and frog-like, with a greenish beard tangled with algae and river weeds. His skin might be slimy, covered in scales, and his eyes burned like hot coals in the dark. Sometimes, he's depicted as half man, half fish, with a long, powerful tail. He's often seen riding a large catfish as his steed, using it to patrol his underwater kingdom. The Vodyanai is the absolute ruler of his domain. He commands the fish, manages the currents, and holds the lives of all who enter his waters in his hands. Think of him as a grumpy, territorial landlord of the local pond. He doesn't appreciate trespassers, especially those who are loud, disrespectful, or pollute his home. Fishermen, millers, and swimmers have learned to fear and respect him for centuries now. The Vodyanoi isn't always evil, but his mood is as unpredictable as a sudden storm. He's known for his vanity and loves offerings. Fishermen would often sacrifice their first catch of the day, tossing it back into the water with a word of thanks to appease the spirit, before building a mill or a bridge. People would offer a black rooster or even a horse to gain his favor and ensure the structure wouldn't be washed away. Tobacco was also a favorite. A pinch thrown into the water was a common gesture of goodwill, but cross him, and you'll see his darker side. The Vodyanai is notorious for drowning people. He doesn't just pull you under, he plays with his victims. He might tangle your legs in weeds, create sudden whirlpools, or simply drag you down to his underwater lair to serve him as a slave. He's especially active at night, particularly around midnight, and during the high summer when the water is warm and inviting. It was said that anyone swimming after sunset was practically inviting the Vodyanoi to claim them. His motives for these drownings are often rooted in loneliness or spite. He's a solitary creature, and some tales say he longs for company, capturing souls to populate his watery court. Others claim he drowns the arrogant and the careless. As a punishment for their disrespect, he also has a particular dislike for those who disrupt the peace of his waters, like noisy swimmers or those who bathe during forbidden hours. He's also known to hoard treasures from sunken boats and drowned travelers, guarding his riches jealously at the bottom of the deepest pools. Millers had a particularly complex relationship with the Vodyanoi. Their mills, powered by the river's flow, were built directly on his territory. This made them constant neighbors, to keep the peace. A miller had to be on very good terms with the local water spirit. They would leave out offerings of bread, salt, or vodka. But if the Vodyanai felt slighted, he could break the mill down, jam the water wheel with logs and debris, or scare away all the fish. Some stories even tell of millers forming pacts with the Vodyanoi, promising him a share of their flour or even the soul of an unlucky passerby in exchange for prosperity. There's a fascinating element of shape-shifting to the Vodyanoi legend. He doesn't always appear as a monstrous old man. He might transform into a giant fish, a floating log, or even a beautiful child crying on the riverbank, luring compassionate souls to their doom. This ability makes him incredibly deceptive. That piece of driftwood you ray about to grab for a support might just be the Vodyanoi waiting to pull you under. So how do you protect yourself from this formidable spirit? Well, apart from offerings, There were specific charms and rituals. Carrying a piece of iron, like a nail or a small knife, was believed to ward him off, as spirits often have an aversion to this metal. Ferns were another powerful protective plant. Before taking a dip, some people would make the sign of the cross over the water or recite a short prayer to bless it. And the most important rule of all, never swim alone, especially not at night. Common sense is often the best defense. The myth of the Vodyanoi served a very practical purpose. It was a cautionary tale that taught respect for the water. In a time before modern swimming lessons and safety regulations, the fear of a monster lurking in the depths was a powerful tool to keep children away from dangerous rivers, and to remind everyone of the water esra and Tamable power. Drownings, dam breaks, and sudden floods were devastating and unpredictable, attributing them to a moody, supernatural entity gave people a sense of understanding and a way to feel they had some control. Through rituals and respect, today, the Vodyanoi lives on, not just in old folklore collections, but in popular culture. You can find him in video games, fantasy novels, and films, often portrayed as a powerful elemental being or a challenging boss. He's a testament to how these ancient stories continue to captivate our imagination. The tale of the Vodyanoi reminds us that the natural world, for all its beauty, has a wild and dangerous side that demands our respect. So, the next time you find yourself by a still, quiet body of water as the sun begins to set, take a moment. Listen to the gentle lapping of the waves, feel the cool air on your skin, and maybe, just maybe, whisper a quiet word of respect to the ancient spirit that might be watching from the deep. You never know. It might just be the thing that ensures your safe passage. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of the Vodyanoi. But what if this ancient, territorial spirit decided to pack his lily pads and move to America? Where would he even go? Let's start with the Great Lakes. Lake Superior, the largest, deepest, and coldest of them all, would be a prime piece of real estate. Imagine the Vodyanoi, used to smaller European lakes, suddenly having this vast inland sea to himself. The sheer scale would be staggering. He'd probably be fascinated by the massive shipwrecks resting on the bottom. Like the Edmund Fitzgerald, he might see them as new underwater palaces, but he'd also have to deal with modern shipping traffic, pleasure boaters, and thousands of fishermen. A Vodyanoi in Lake Superior would be a very busy and likely very annoyed spirit. He might start by tangling fishing lines and messing with boat engines, just to show everyone who's the new boss. But maybe the cold, vast expanse of the Great Lakes isn't his style. Perhaps he'd prefer something with a bit more character. Let's send him down to the bayous of Louisiana. Now this is a place a Vodyanoi could really call home. The murky, swampy waters, the hanging Spanish moss, the alligators. It's like his old world home, but with a spicy southern twist. He'd probably get along great with the gators, seeing them as his new pets or guards. Instead of catfish, he'd be hoarding crawfish. The local legends of the Rugru and other swamp monsters would suddenly have a new, very real competitor. Cajun fishermen, known for their bravery, would have some truly wild stories to tell about the green-bearded old man who keeps stealing their bait and rocking their boats. Or what about the powerful Mississippi River? This massive artery running through the heart of America would be the ultimate challenge for a Vodyanoi. It's a constantly changing, powerful force of nature. He'd have to contend with river barges the size of buildings, a far cry from the small fishing boats he's used to. He might try to establish his rule, causing whirlpools and strange currents that baffle river pilots. The folklore along the Mississippi would change forever. Instead of just ghost stories, people would start talking about a powerful water king who demands respect, maybe even offerings. For safe passage, imagine riverside towns leaving small tributes by the water's edge, hoping to appease the grumpy spirit of the Big Muddy from the Hoover Dam on the Colorado River, where he'd be infuriated by the massive concrete wall blocking his path to the serene, protected lakes of national parks like Yellowstone. A Vajrayana in America would be a true fish out of water, or rather, a spirit in a whole new kind of water. He'd be a remnant of an old, magical world clashing with modern America. Would he adapt, or would he cause enough chaos to write himself into a brand new chapter of American folklore? One thing's for sure, swimming after dark would suddenly become a lot more interesting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into folklore, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more what-if scenarios. See you next time.